the question is, when the person of the status like Mr. Lungu is being buried, whose flag is going to be lowered? Is it our South African flag or is it a Zambian flag? Because this person is not anybody person. It's not anybody that just like me, you can just bury. He deserves a dignity as the former president of Zambia. Okay. The issue of the family, Mr. Lungu's family. As DSA, we stand for transparency and accountability. We are saying the family should go back home and account for all those crimes that we just had here. They've been listed. South Africa is not the country where we harbor criminals. South African government should please try to control the level of criminals that are entering our South African country. Just like I said, I won't have to prolong this. In conclusion, we had our chief when he said a person must be buried where his bones. Xitsonga hi ri laha nkava wa wena u nga sala ko xikava xa n'wana xi nga wela kona nga Xivenda hune muputo wawe wa sala hone. So Mr. Lungu deserves a dignity. People of Zambia deserve dignity. They deserve to mourn their president. We have the issue of influx of illegal immigrants in South Africa. That's not it's not something that we can say it's a lie. We are dealing with this issue in South Africa. So the person of the status like Mr. Lungu being buried in South Africa is gonna give many Zambian citizens to come here and say they're coming to see their president's grave, and at the end of the day, they end up staying in South Africa. And when we raise that issue, we will be labeled as xenophobic. And we are not being xenophobic, but we're trying to protect what belongs to us. We love our African brothers and sisters, but what they are doing in our country, seriously, is not humanity enough. So I thank you. Mr. Lungu must be buried home. Thank you.
Since colonization and also apartheid, we have land claims that are being claimed via ancestral lineage. And graves are part of the instrument that we use when we want to claim the land. We don't want in the future that we're going to have an issue of the Lungu's generation to come the descendant of Mr. Lungu to come and claim the land in SA and pointing to their grandfather's grave. We have a deep-rooted issue with the Zambians from during apartheid struggle. The Zambians is the one of the country that have contributed to our struggle. They have harbored our exiles. We also know that the Zambians, there are graves of our exiles currently in Zambia. We are not fighting the Zambians. What we will not allow is the current African leaders who loot the coffers of their people to take the loot and come and enjoy it in peace in South Africa. We know very well that African leaders have been looting their country's resources and then go and enjoy the loot in Europe and the West. Now it's UAE. We have also found out with this case that there are more looters of the continent who have now found heaven in our country, South Africa. We saw in the last elections of Zambia, the Zambian youth went out in their numbers, not only to go and cast the vote to change the regime. They went there because they wanted change. They got their votes from the voting station to where the votes were being guided. We saw the videos in 2023 during the national elections of Zambia because they were tired. They were tired that the regime was collecting debt from the West, from the East, but there were no infrastructures in Zambia. I believe it will be unfair for us as South Africans to keep quiet and let the Lungus to bury their people in South Africa without letting the Zambians to mourn their leader, without letting them to go back home and face the Zambians and clear their name. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, giving you that 2 seconds to pause and ponder and process. And as we always say,
I'm standing here today and to bring unto all the ears a different message. The message of declaration of the indigenous people. Indigenous people has the absolute law on the indigenous law, indigenous living, and all aspects of tradition, culture, and the rights. Those are the major arms of indigenous people, the brown people. I prefer not to be black because I'm not black. Kimosoto. That's my color. I would like just to introduce this to say the indigenous law, it has law on its own. Rinalema Khota, since from the beginning. And the overtake of Roman Dutch law was not the right jurisdiction to come and be put on our lives and deprive every aspect of respect and humanity in our indigenous people. Today, as I'm saying, we are having our own courts. We are having our own judicial system. We are having our own lifestyle where the law is not teachable like the colonialism is doing. When you want to know law, you have to school. You have to go to school somewhere with another grades that they grade you that you are supposed to be learning or being given education on law or not. And then you can ask yourself if your mind is sober. Why should only few people know the law? What about the rest? What about the upcoming generations? What about the age? What about the adults? What about other aspects of life? They should not know the law. I spoke to the other chief magistrate one day, and I said that you are doing unlawful to judge people that you show that you have never taught them a law. But when you judge them with a law that they don't know. It is in our indigenous ethics that the law is taught even the woman when he's still pregnant. When he got a kid, he knows what he must do. When he grow up, to eat, to wear, to which food to eat, how to walk. It is the teachable situation that indigenous law has founded in that will never make a mess. And all things has started to be messed up when Lord Macaulay came in 1834 and 5, when coming to spy on us, how we live. And he said a very good report that I can't forget. He said, I went in Africa continent wide and through. One, he said, I never found a thief. I never found a poor person. I've never found a needy. He mentioned these things and giving back to the Britain Parliament and telling them about us. But if you can check how many thieves that we have now, how many needy, not even needy people, but the poorest of the poor in our country, in our lives. that is different. That's why I'm saying, I'm proclaiming to all people, all arms of the political government and their relatives and their cabals to leave our own people to live free, as it is their liberty to do so. And I'm mentioning even all those, are calling them authorities, the employed kings, the employed chiefs, the employed headmen, the employed whosoever that is calling themselves royalty, but they are employed by the cabal of this government that are ruled by Dutch Roman law, and leave our royalties to be free as they are. You are born as a king, you are born as a monarch, you are born as a prince, you are born as a queen, not to be made. All this made some people that are on the authorities. That's why we are in this mess up. Now is the time to turn and take our things as they are, from the bones, from the blood, not from the head and from the books, not from anything that can be mentioned as the accolade of education. All people has learned here. All of them are Platos, Paragodas, and the wasp. All of them, they got taught here. The very same thing today, we take it over. We know ourselves more than somebody can explain us. I thank you. For shortly, let me send my condolences to Lungu's family. We grieve with you as being a culture for us to respect when something like this happens and to mourn with that family. We mourn with you, and you must receive our sincere condolences to you for the loss. And then coming back to the very same thing that happened, I don't want to touch any filthy acts that the politician government has done. It's not my place. There are people that knows better about that. But I'm saying it will be a taboo if we can let the president, Zambian president, to be buried in here. Everybody according to the tradition and culture and the rituals says everybody must be buried where the elder bones and the graves are. No negotiations. I don't need no court to say anything. This is our people, and this is what we know. Let the Zambian president go and bury it where his ancestors are, close. I want to thank you all. I want to thank you all, the ears that are listening. This is the time. I am Indigenous monarch. I'm the holder of an ang, the supreme natural ang decree to control, to command, and authority. As the natural law is our law of every body, of every flesh. I'm proclaiming this, and it's happening. It has started already. There will be nobody who will detect and dictate on our earth anymore. There will be no more shadows that will be hindering us to ponder every way in our success. We had the diamonds, we have the gold, we have the platinums, we have the natural inhabitants that we have, with no sinking holes, with no polluted air, with a bright sky that was giving us even longer life. But because of these people that came, they destroyed everything. You become sick even to inhale. Therefore, this is our time. We are taking over to make things the way they're supposed to be, and that they should be. Lesedi le kganyetse batho bohle. Ke a leboha.